The crystal champagne flute trembled in my hand as I watched my sister-in-law Vivienne parade my daughter around the garden party like a prized show pony. And Eva's already been accepted to 3 Ivy League schools, she announced to anyone who would listen, her voice carrying across the manicured lawn. We're so proud, aren't we, darling? My name is Lena, and I used to be somebody in this family before my husband's death turned me into a ghost. Mom, did you hear? Yale's definitely interested. Eva bounced over, her eyes sparkling with the same excitement I used to see when she'd show me her artwork as a child. But now that sparkle wasn't for me, it was all for Vivian. That's wonderful, sweetheart. I reached out to hug her, but she was already turning away, drawn back into Vivian's orbit like a magnetic force I couldn't fight. Lena, dear, you're looking comfortable today, Vivian said, eyeing my simple blue dress. Though I suppose on a teacher's pension, one has to make do. She smoothed her own designer outfit, a knowing smile playing at her lips. Some of us prefer substance over show, Vivian. I kept my voice steady, even as my fingers tightened around the stem of my glass. Oh, but show is everything in our circles. She looped her arm through Eva's. Isn't that right, precious? Speaking of which, we simply must introduce you to Warren's son, Aiden. He's just returned from his semester in Monaco. I watched them glide away across the lawn, my daughter giggling at whatever poison Vivian was whispering in her ear. Around me, the party continued its elaborate dance, crystal tinkling, fake laughter, and the constant hum of money talking to money. You're looking murderous, hun. Rosalind, my best friend and fellow former teacher, appeared at my elbow with a fresh glass of champagne. Here, you need this more than I do. She's turning my own daughter against me, Roz. I accepted the glass, taking a long sip. Everything I say, everything I do, Vivian twists it into proof that I don't belong in this world anymore. Then maybe it's time to fight back, Rosalind suggested, watching as Vivian introduced Eva to a handsome young man I assumed was Aiden. You still have cards to play. More than she knows. I set down my glass, straightening my shoulders. Robert may have left me out of the business, but he didn't leave me powerless. Across the garden, I caught Vivian's eye. She was watching me, that same smug smile in place, as Eva laughed at something Aiden said. I raised my glass in a mock toast, and for just a moment, let my mask slip. Enjoy the high life for now, Vivian, I whispered, too softly for anyone but Rosalind to hear. Lena, Rosalind touched my arm. What are you planning? Before I could answer, Freddie, Vivian's husband, and my late husband's brother, approached us, looking uncomfortable in his tailored suit. Lena, could we have a word? I nodded, following him to a quieter corner of the garden. What is it, Freddie? Look, I know Vivian can be difficult. He ran a hand through his graying hair. But she means well. She just wants what's best for Eva. What's best for Eva, or what's best for Vivian's social climbing? I challenged him. When was the last time you saw my daughter pick up a paintbrush or laugh without checking to see if the right people were watching? Freddie shifted uncomfortably. Times change. People change. Eva's growing up. Into what? I watched as Vivian orchestrated a photo opportunity, positioning Eva between Aiden and his father Warren. A puppet, another society wife who measures her worth in thread count and country club memberships. You're being unfair, Freddie protested. But I could see the doubt in his eyes. Am I? Then why did Robert make me executor of Eva's trust instead of you and Vivian? I met his gaze steadily. He knew what would happen if the money came before the meaning. Freddie's face paled slightly. What are you saying? I'm saying enjoy the party, brother-in-law. I patted his arm and turned away, catching Vivian's suspicious glance in my direction. And tell your wife she might want to be a little nicer to the ghost in the family. Some of us have more substance than she thinks. As I walked away, I heard Eva's laughter floating across the garden, that practiced perfect sound that had replaced her real joy. But soon she would understand. Soon they all would, because Robert hadn't just left me his money, he'd left me his wisdom. And the will I'd been quietly preparing would ensure our daughter learned the lesson Vivian never could. That true worth isn't measured in dollars and cents, but in the depth of your character and the strength of your convictions. I just hoped Eva would forgive me for what came next. Mom, look what I painted. Eva's voice echoed in my memory as I stood in her old art room, my fingers trailing over dusty canvases stacked against the wall. The space still smelled of acrylics and possibility, though no one had touched a brush here in over 2 years. You're torturing yourself again, Rosalind said from the doorway. She'd come over to help me sort through some of Robert's old papers, but found me here instead. Look at this one. I pulled out a canvas, a riot of colors, depicting our old family beach house. She painted this the summer before Robert died, before Vivian decided art wasn't sophisticated enough for a girl of Eva's standing. I remember when she won that youth art competition, Rosalind said, stepping into the room. Vivian actually showed up for that one. Yes, and spent the whole time telling everyone how Eva was just exploring her creative phase before focusing on more suitable pursuits. I set the painting down carefully. That was the beginning of the end. The doorbell rang, interrupting my brooding. Through the security camera feed on my phone, I saw Martina waiting on the front step, clutching her usual folder of community project documents. Come in, I called, meeting her in the foyer. Sorry about the mess. We're doing some organizing. No problem, Mrs. H. Martina's enthusiasm was infectious as always. I brought the final proposals for the youth center renovation. The kids have some amazing ideas. We spread the documents across the kitchen island, and I felt the familiar surge of purpose that came with our community work. This was what Robert and I had always planned, using our resources to make real change, not just throwing money at charity galas. Mom? Eva's voice startled us all. She stood in the kitchen doorway, looking polished and perfect in her designer outfit. I thought we had lunch plans. My heart sank. That was yesterday, sweetheart. You canceled, remember? Vivian had tickets to that fashion show. Oh, right. She shifted uncomfortably, eyeing Martina and the papers. What's all this? The youth center project, I explained, hoping to spark her interest. Remember how you used to help with the art programs there? That was ages ago, Eva dismissed. But I caught her glancing at the drawings some of the kids had submitted. Anyway, I came to get my pearl earrings. Aiden's taking me to dinner at LeBlanc. They're in your old jewelry box, I said. Ava, why don't you stay for a bit? Martina could use some input on the art room design. I can't. Vivian's taking me shopping first. She says presentation is everything at LeBlanc. Ava turned to leave, then paused. Oh, by the way, Aunt Vivian mentioned something about the trust fund. She said you're being difficult about releasing funds for my gap year travels. My blood ran cold. So that's what this surprise visit was really about. Your trust fund isn't a blank check, Ava. Your father set specific conditions. Conditions that you're in charge of. She cut in, sounding exactly like Vivienne. Aunt Vivienne says you're just bitter because you never fit into Dad's world. Ava, Rosalind exclaimed, but I held up a hand to stop her. Is that what you think? I asked quietly. That I'm bitter about not fitting into Dad's world? The world I shared with him for 20 years while building everything you take for granted. Eva had the grace to look uncomfortable. I didn't mean your father's world wasn't about designer labels and society parties. I continued. It was about making a difference, about using privilege responsibly. Maybe you should ask Vivienne how many youth centers she's helped build, or how many scholarship programs she's funded. That's not fair, Eva protested. Aunt Vivian does lots of charity work. She's on 3 benefit committees. Planning parties isn't the same as doing the work, sweetie. I softened my tone. Stay. Help us with this. Remember how much you loved working with the kids? For a moment, I saw a flicker of my old Eva, the one who spent summers teaching art to underprivileged children, who cried at fundraiser videos, who wanted to change the world with her paintbrush. Then her phone buzzed. Vivian's name flashed on the screen. I have to go. she said, already backing away. The earrings. Top drawer, left side, I said wearily. Have fun at dinner. After she left, Martina cleared her throat. She seems different from what you've described. She is different, Rosalind said, squeezing my shoulder. But not for long, right? I nodded, pulling out my phone to text my lawyer. Time to move up the timeline. Vivian's making her move for the trust fund. What are you going to do? Rosalind asked. I looked at the youth center plans, at the dreams and hopes scattered across my kitchen island. I'm going to save my daughter, even if she hates me for it. Because sometimes love means being the villain in someone else's story, at least until they're ready to see the truth. Are you absolutely certain about these terms? Lena, my lawyer, David, peered at me over his reading glasses. They're rather unconventional. Robert was unconventional, I replied, watching rain streak down the office windows. He believed money without purpose corrupts. These terms honor that belief. Vivian won't like it. David shuffled the papers, making Eva's full inheritance conditional on community service, education requirements, and a year of independent living. She'll fight this. Let her. Everything here is legal and aligned with Robert's original wishes. I signed the final document. My daughter needs to understand where she comes from before she can know where she's going. Later that afternoon, I drove to the family estate where Robert's mother, Jacqueline, still lived. The imposing gates opened automatically. At least, I hadn't been stripped of that privilege yet. The housekeeper led me to the conservatory, where Jacqueline sat reading, surrounded by her beloved orchids. She barely looked up as I entered. Twice in 1 month, she remarked dryly. To what do I owe the pleasure? You know why I'm here. I took the seat across from her. Eva's changing, and not for the better. Vivian's influence is none of my concern. Jacqueline turned a page. The girl's 18. Let her make her own choices. Like you let Vivian make her choices when she convinced Robert to restructure the company board? Right before he died. The words hung in the air like smoke. That got her attention. Jacqueline's head snapped up, her eyes sharp. Careful, Lena. No, you be careful. I leaned forward. Your granddaughter is turning into exactly the kind of person Robert worried about. All surface, no substance. And you're sitting here with your orchids, pretending not to see it. What exactly do you expect me to do? Jacqueline's voice held a hint of defensiveness. Eva admires Vivian. She's young, attracted to that lifestyle. She's lost, I interrupted, and her grandmother, the family matriarch, could help guide her back if she cared enough to try. Before Jacqueline could respond, voices drifted in from the hallway. Ava's laugh, followed by Vivienne's distinctive tone. They appeared in the doorway, dressed for tennis. Grandmother, Eva stopped short at the sight of me. Mom, what are you doing here? Just visiting, I said, standing. I was actually hoping to catch you. Are you free for dinner tomorrow? Just us. Eva glanced at Vivienne, who spoke before she could answer. Oh, darling, remember, we have the charity gala tomorrow. The one where you're being introduced to the hospital board? Right. Sorry, Mom. Eva didn't look particularly sorry. Maybe next week? The hospital board? I raised an eyebrow. I didn't realize you were interested in healthcare administration. Well, someone needs to carry on Robert's legacy there. Vivian cut in smoothly. And Eva has such natural leadership qualities, don't you, precious? I watched my daughter beam at the praise, and something inside me cracked. Robert's legacy? You mean the hospital wing he funded for pediatric cancer research? The one inspired by his work with actual sick children, not cocktail parties. Mom, please don't start. Ava's face flushed. This is important to me. Is it? Or is it important to Vivian? I challenged. When was the last time you visited the children's ward, talked to a patient, or are you just there to pose for photos? That's enough. Vivian stepped forward, placing herself between Eva and me. You're embarrassing yourself, Lena. Eva's growing into her role in society. Just because you never could. I chose not to. I corrected her. There's a difference. Grandmother, please tell Mom she's being ridiculous. Eva appealed to Jacqueline, who had remained silent throughout the exchange. The old woman looked between us, then returned to her book. I believe I'll stay out of this. Fine. Eva grabbed her tennis bag. Come on, Aunt Vivienne. We'll be late for our court time. And Mom? Don't bother with dinner invites for a while. I'm going to be very busy. They swept out, leaving me alone with Jacqueline and her orchids. The silence stretched between us like a chasm. You'll lose her if you push too hard, Jacqueline finally said, not looking up. I'm already losing her. I moved to the door, then paused. You know what Robert would say about all this? Robert's not here. Jacqueline's voice was tired. And the living must make their own choices. Yes, I agreed. They must, and I've made mine. Walking to my car, I texted David. Proceed with the will filing. It's time. My phone buzzed immediately with his response. Are you sure? Once this starts. I watched through the conservatory windows as Vivian and Eva crossed the tennis courts, their laughter carrying across the manicured grounds. My daughter, so beautiful, so lost, playing a game she didn't even realize she was losing. Yes, I typed back, I'm sure. Because sometimes the kindest cut is the deepest, and the truest love knows when to let the storm come. The anonymous letter arrived on a Tuesday, tucked between bills and junk mail. No return address, just my name in careful block letters. Inside, a single typed page. Mrs. Harper, Vivienne is planning to contest the trust fund terms. She's already contacted 3 lawyers. Watch your back. A friend. Well, that's ominous, Rosalind said, reading over my shoulder at my kitchen counter. Any idea who sent it? Could be anyone from the family lawyer's office to the household staff. I folded the letter carefully, but they're right. Vivian's been too quiet lately. So what's the plan? Rosalind pulled out her phone. I can still get us into tonight's charity dinner. My cousin's on the committee. Perfect, I smiled. Time to do some reconnaissance. The ballroom of the Grand Hotel sparkled with crystal and old money. I wore my best dress, a classic black number that helped me blend into the background. Rosalind and I separated, working the room from different angles. Did you hear about the trust fund drama? I overheard one society wife whisper to another. Vivian says Lena's gone power mad, trying to control Eva's future. Shocking, her friend replied. After everything Vivian's done for that girl, I gritted my teeth and moved on, catching snippets of similar conversations. Vivian had been busy, spinning her web of sympathy through the social circles. Mom? Eva's voice startled me. She stood with Aiden, both dressed impeccably. I didn't know you were coming tonight. Last-minute decision, I said lightly. You look beautiful, sweetheart. Thanks. She shifted uncomfortably. Aunt Vivienne mentioned something about the trust fund. Did she? I kept my voice neutral. And what exactly did she mention? Just that you're being difficult. Eva wouldn't meet my eyes. That you're trying to control my life with Dad's money. Is that what you think? I asked quietly. Before she could answer, Vivian materialized beside them. Eva, darling, the hospital board members are asking for you. Aiden, be a dear and escort her? Once they left, Vivian's smile turned cold. Crashing parties now, Lena. How desperate. Just supporting the cause, I replied. Though I noticed the donation cards don't mention actual amounts. Trying to hide your creative accounting. Vivian's eyes narrowed. I don't know what you think you're implying. Ladies, Freddie appeared, looking flustered. There you are, Vivian. Warren's looking for you. Something about the summer house arrangements. After she left, Freddie grabbed my arm. We need to talk. Now. He led me to a quiet alcove, off the main ballroom. Look, I know what Vivian's planning with the trust fund. She's been meeting with lawyers behind my back. And you're telling me this why? Because it's wrong. He ran a hand through his hair. Robert wanted Eva to learn responsibility, not become another trust fund brat. She's changed. Everything's about appearances now, money, status. Finally noticed, did you? I couldn't keep the bitterness from my voice. I should have stepped in sooner, he admitted. But you should know, she's planning something big. Tonight, she's going to. A commotion from the ballroom cut him off. We hurried back to find Vivienne at the podium, Eva beside her. And so, Vivienne was saying into the microphone, we're thrilled to announce that Eva will be taking over as chair of the hospital's youth outreach program, following in her father's footsteps, but with her own modern vision. The crowd applauded. Eva beamed. I felt sick. Of course, Vivienne continued, her eyes finding me in the crowd. Some people think the old ways are best. That money should come with strings attached. But we believe in empowering our next generation to forge their own paths. More applause, more knowing looks in my direction. That manipulative witch, Rosalind whispered, appearing beside me. She's using your own cause against you. She's also embezzling from the hospital foundation, Freddie said quietly. I found the proof last week. That's what I was trying to tell you. I watched Eva on stage, glowing under the attention, under Vivienne's false praise. My daughter, being used as a pawn in a game she didn't even understand. Freddie, I said carefully, how would you like to help me save your niece? What do you need? Those embezzlement records, for starters. I met his eyes. And your testimony about Vivienne's plans for the trust fund. He hesitated only briefly. Done. But Lena, make it count, make it hurt. Oh, it will. I watched Vivienne pose for photos with Eva, both of them radiant with false victory. By the time I'm done, she'll wish she'd never heard the name Harper. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't served cold. It's served with receipts, witnesses, and perfect timing. And my timing was about to become very perfect indeed. Your mother's not answering her phone. Vivienne's irritated voice echoed through the youth center hallway. I froze, then quickly ducked into the art supply room. Eva wasn't supposed to be here today. She's probably busy, Eva replied. Their footsteps getting closer. I don't know why we need to check on the youth center anyway. The board handles everything. Because, darling, we need to document all of Lena's activities for the lawyers. I held my breath as they passed the supply room. Through the crack in the door, I could see Eva's uncertain expression. Martina, Vivienne called out. Is anyone here? Hi. Martina emerged from her office, clipboard in hand. Can I help you? Eva is here to inspect the facility, Vivienne announced. As the new youth outreach chair, she needs to understand the operation. Martina's eyes flickered to the supply room. She knew I was here, preparing for tomorrow's art therapy session. Of course, though you just missed the most inspiring part of our day. The kids finished their mural project. How quaint. Vivienne's voice dripped condescension. Eva, darling, make some notes. We'll need to modernize all this. Perhaps a digital arts program instead. Actually, Martina said, this program was designed by Eva herself 3 years ago. Remember, Eva, you taught that first summer workshop. The silence that followed felt heavy with memory. Yeah, Eva said softly. We painted butterflies with the cancer patients. They still talk about that, Martina continued. In fact, Sarah, you remember Sarah? She's in remission now, and she's teaching her own art classes here. Sarah made it. Eva's voice cracked slightly. She was so sick. Oh, please, Vivienne interrupted. That's all very touching. But we're here to evaluate, not reminisce. Now, about the budget. A child's laughter interrupted her, followed by the sound of running feet. A small girl in a bright yellow dress burst into the hallway, clutching a painting. Miss Martina, look what Oh, the girl stopped short at the sight of strangers. Hello, Lucy, Martina smiled. Show us what you made. Lucy held up her painting proudly. It was a butterfly painted in brilliant blues and purples. I did it just like in the pictures, Lucy announced. The ones from Miss Eva's class. Miss Martina said you used to teach here, she added, looking at Eva with wide eyes. I watched through the crack as my daughter knelt down to Lucy's level. Something soft and real, breaking through her polished exterior. That's beautiful, Eva said. You know, butterflies were my favorite thing to paint too. Really? Will you show me how to do the sparkly wings? Miss Martina tried, but she said you were better at it. Ava, Vivian cut in sharply. We have that lunch appointment. Ava looked torn, glancing between Lucy's hopeful face and Vivian's stern one. The budget reports, Vivian pressed. The lawyers are waiting. Eva stood slowly, her shoulders stiffening. Sorry, Lucy, maybe another time, but you promised to teach art classes again, Lucy protested. It's on the wall. She pointed to a framed newspaper article I knew well. Ava's smiling face, surrounded by young cancer patients, promising to return every summer to teach art. Things change, sweetie, Vivian said smoothly. Ava has more important responsibilities now. Come along, darling. They turned to leave, but Lucy called out one last time. Your mom still teaches us, you know. She says art helps heal our hearts. Eva stopped dead. My mom. She teaches here. Every Tuesday and Thursday, Martina confirmed. She took over your classes after you stopped coming. I didn't. Eva turned to Vivienne. You told me the program was shut down, that they didn't want art classes anymore. I was protecting you, Vivienne said quickly. These people, this place, it's all beneath you now. You have real opportunities. Real opportunities. Martina's voice was quiet but firm. Like what? Planning parties while your mother actually helps kids heal? You know, Eva, she still hangs every butterfly painting in the cancer ward, just like you used to. I could see the conflict on Eva's face, the crack in her carefully constructed world. But before she could respond, Vivian grabbed her arm. We're leaving, now. She practically dragged Eva toward the exit, and we'll be discussing the future of this facility's funding very soon. After they left, I finally emerged from the supply room. Lucy looked up at me with worried eyes. Did I say something wrong, Miss Lena? I knelt and hugged her tight. No, sweetheart, you said everything exactly right. Martina touched my shoulder. She remembered Lena. Did you see her face when Lucy showed the butterfly? I nodded, hope blooming in my chest like one of Lucy's painted wings, because for just a moment I'd seen my real daughter again, the one who believed in healing hearts through art, not social climbing through charity galas. The crack was there. Now I just had to make it wide enough for the truth to shine through. Sign here, Eva. Warren pushed the legal document across his mahogany desk. It's a simple petition to remove your mother as trustee. I watched through the glass wall of the conference room, my heart pounding. After Freddie's tip, I'd arrived at Warren's law office just in time. I don't know. Eva hesitated, pen hovering above the paper. Shouldn't we wait until after the will reading tomorrow? Absolutely not, Vivian snapped. Your mother's planning something. We need to act now. I chose that moment to walk in. You're right about one thing, Vivian. I am planning something. This is a private meeting, Warren said, smoothly, trying to slide the papers into a folder. Nothing about my daughter's future is private to me. I placed my own folder on the desk. Ava, before you sign anything, there's something you need to see. Don't, Vivian warned. She's trying to manipulate you, like you've been manipulating her. I pulled out a document. Ava, do you know what your father's original vision was for your trust? Eva glanced at Vivian, then back at me. He wanted me to have security. He wanted you to have purpose, I corrected, which is why he left this letter. I handed Eva an envelope, sealed with Robert's personal stamp. Her hands trembled as she opened it. My dearest Ava, she read aloud. If you're reading this, you're about to make a choice that will define your future. Money can be a bridge to dreams or a barrier to growth. That's why I've arranged something special for you. A chance to see the world as I did when I was young. She looked up, confused. What does he mean? Your father spent a year working with humanitarian projects before starting his business, I explained. It shaped everything he became. He arranged the same opportunity for you. What? Vivian snatched the letter. This is ridiculous. Eva has commitments here, the hospital board, her social obligations. A year of real work, I continued, ignoring Vivian. With real people. teaching art, therapy, in underprivileged communities, just like you used to dream about. Stop this, Warren interrupted. Ava, sign the petition. We can contest this manipulation. But Eva was staring at another photo that had fallen from the envelope. Her father in worn jeans and a t-shirt, surrounded by smiling children, paintbrushes in hand. Dad did this, she whispered. It's where he learned what truly mattered, I said softly. Where he decided to use his wealth for something bigger than status. Don't listen to her, Vivienne pleaded. Think about Aiden, your future, everything we've planned. You mean everything you've planned? Eva's voice had an edge I hadn't heard in years. Did you know about Dad's work? About any of this? Vivienne's silence was answer enough. The choice is yours, I said. Sign Warren's petition, take control of the trust, live the life Vivienne's designed for you, or honor your father's wishes, travel, teach, create, make your own mark on the world. She's 18, Warren protested. She can't possibly. I'll do it, Eva interrupted. We all stared at her. Dad's project. I want to do it. Eva, no. Vivienne grabbed her arm. Think about what you're giving up. I'm thinking about Lucy, Eva said quietly. And Sarah. And all the kids I abandoned because you told me I was meant for better things. What's better than helping people heal through art? That's what Dad did, isn't it, Mom? I nodded, throat tight with emotion. This is insane, Warren blustered. Vivienne, do something. But Eva was already ripping up the petition. I'm done letting you plan my life, Aunt Vivienne. I want to make Dad proud. I want to make myself proud. You'll regret this, Vivienne hissed. When you're stuck in some third world dump while your friends enjoy luxury. The only thing I regret, Eva cut her off, is letting you convince me that luxury matters more than legacy. She turned to me, and for the first time in years, I saw my daughter, really saw her. When do we start? The will reading is tomorrow, I said. Everything will be explained then. Are you sure about this? Eva picked up her father's photo again, tracing his smile with her finger. Yes, I think I finally understand what he was trying to teach me, what you've been trying to teach me. This isn't over, Vivienne snapped, gathering her designer bag. Warren, we'll contest everything, the will, the trust, all of it. Good luck, I smiled. Robert's wishes are quite clear, and now, so are Eva's. After they stormed out, Eva turned to me, tears in her eyes. Mom, I'm so sorry for everything. Don't be sorry. I hugged her close. Be ready. Tomorrow changes everything. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't about destroying your enemies. It's about rebuilding what they tried to tear down, one brush stroke at a time. The family lawyer's office felt too small for the tension it contained. Vivienne sat with her legal team, shooting daggers at me across the conference table. Eva sat between us, back straight, hands folded. Freddie, Jacqueline, and various other family members lined the walls. David cleared his throat. Before we begin the formal reading, there's evidence of financial misconduct that must be addressed. Objection, Warren started, but David held up a hand. This isn't a courtroom, Warren. And you might want to hear this before you speak. He slid a folder across the table. Bank records showing systematic embezzlement from the hospital foundation. Care to explain? Vivienne. The color drained from her face. This is absurd. I demand. I can confirm these records. Freddie spoke up, his voice steady. I found them last week. Money meant for the children's ward, redirected to personal accounts. Vivienne whirled on him. You snake? After everything I've done for you. For me. Freddie laughed bitterly. You mean like maxing out our credit cards? Mortgaging the house without telling me? It's over, Vivienne. I've already spoken to the hospital board. If we could proceed, David interrupted, opening Robert's will. The terms are quite specific. Eva squeezed my hand as David began to read. The room grew quieter with each revelation. The bulk of the estate is to be held in trust, managed by Lena, with the following conditions for Eva's inheritance. 1 year of humanitarian work through the Robert Harper Foundation, followed by completion of a degree in either social work, education, or arts therapy. This is ridiculous, Vivian burst out. She's being forced into poverty work. I'm being given a chance to make a difference, Eva corrected her. Like Dad did. David continued. Furthermore, any attempt to contest these terms or manipulate their execution will result in the entire trust being redirected to establish art therapy programs in children's hospitals worldwide. Warren slumped in his chair. Vivienne's lawyers started whispering urgently. There's more, David added. Regarding the hospital foundation. He looked directly at Vivienne. Any board member found misappropriating funds will be permanently barred from involvement, and their actions will be reported to the proper authorities. You can't prove anything, Vivienne hissed, but her hands were shaking. Actually, Freddie pulled out his phone. I recorded our conversation from last week, the one where you explained exactly how you've been moving the money around. Would you like to hear it? The room erupted in chaos. Vivian's lawyers huddled around her. Warren tried to intervene, and several family members started arguing loudly. Quiet, Jacqueline's voice cut through the noise. She stood slowly, commanding attention as only a family matriarch could. I've heard enough. Vivian, you're done here. Get out. Mother, please. I said get out, and expect a call from the hospital board's ethics committee. Jacqueline turned to Ava. As for you, my dear, your father would be proud of your decision. Eva's eyes filled with tears. Really? Really? Jacqueline smiled. The first real smile I'd seen from her in years. In fact, I have something for you. She pulled out an old, worn sketchbook. Your father's journal from his humanitarian year. I've been saving it for the right moment. As Eva clutched the journal, Vivian made one last desperate play. Ava, think about what you're giving up. The parties, the connections, your future with Aiden. My future is my own. Eva stood, voice firm, and I choose to build it on something real. Then you're as foolish as your mother, Vivian spat, gathering her things. Good luck saving the world with paintbrushes and poverty tours. Better than stealing from sick children, I replied calmly. The police will be very interested in those bank records, by the way. Vivian stormed out, Warren trailing behind her. The room gradually emptied until only Eva, Jacqueline, and I remained. I should have stepped in sooner, Jacqueline said quietly. Watched more closely, protected what Robert built. We all should have done many things, I replied. But we're doing them now. Eva opened her father's journal, gasping at a butterfly sketch on the first page. Dad drew these too. Every day, Jacqueline smiled. He said art was the universal language of hope. When do I leave? Eva asked, looking up at me. For the humanitarian project. 2 weeks, I said. Unless you want more time to… No, she interrupted. I've wasted enough time trying to be someone else. She hugged the journal close. I want to be me again. As we left the office, I saw Rosalind waiting in the lobby. She took one look at our faces and broke into a huge smile. Time to restart those art classes? She asked Eva. Time to restart everything, Eva replied. And for the first time in years, her smile reached her eyes. Because sometimes the greatest victory isn't in destroying what's wrong, but in rebuilding what's right, one brave choice at a time. Hold still, Lucy, Eva laughed, adjusting the little girl's smock. The paint goes on the canvas, not in your hair. I watched from the doorway of the youth center's art room as my daughter led her class through their butterfly project. The walls were covered in vibrant wings, each one unique, each one healing someone's heart. Miss Eva, look, Lucy held up her painting proudly. I made it sparkly, just like you showed me. It's beautiful, Eva beamed. Want to hang it in the cancer ward with the others. The door behind me opened, and Martina entered with a stack of papers. The police just called. They're filing formal charges against Vivian tomorrow. How much did she take? I asked quietly, not wanting to disturb the class. Over 2 million. All meant for the children's medical equipment. Martina shook her head. Freddie's testimony sealed it. She's facing serious time. A small commotion drew our attention back to the art room. Aiden stood in the doorway, looking uncomfortable in his expensive suit. "Eva," he called out, "can we talk?" Eva wiped paint from her hands. "I'm teaching Aiden. These kids are more important than whatever party invitation you're here to deliver." "It's not that." He shifted nervously. "Dad's really sorry about everything. About backing Vivian, about the trust fund fight. He wants to make a donation to the program." "Tell him thank you," Ava replied firmly. "But we don't need his money. What these kids need is time, attention, and genuine care. If he wants to help, he can volunteer, like I do, like Mom does. I could, maybe." Aiden looked around at the children painting. "I used to draw, before Dad said it wasn't practical." Eva's expression softened slightly. "We teach adult classes on Thursdays, if you're interested in finding yourself again." The moment was interrupted by Jacqueline's arrival. She carried a large canvas, covered in cloth. "Grandmother." Eva helped her with the package. "What's this?" "Something your father painted during his humanitarian year." Jacqueline removed the cloth, revealing a stunning mural of butterflies rising from a city in ruins. He called it, "Hope Takes Flight." The children gathered around, oohing and ahhing at the artwork. Eva traced the signature with trembling fingers. She looked at me. "I thought Dad was just a businessman." "He was everything," I said softly. "That's what he wanted for you, not to choose between worlds, but to bridge them." "Miss Eva," Lucy tugged at her sleeve, "can we paint something big like that? For the hospital?" "Actually," Martina stepped forward, "we just got approval to paint a mural in the children's ward. If you're interested in leading the project." Eva's eyes lit up. "Really? But what about my trip? I leave for Guatemala next week." "The mural can wait," I assured her. "Your journey comes first." "About that," Aiden spoke up, "I've been thinking. The trip your dad planned, helping people through art, it sounds more meaningful than another year of business school. Maybe I could join you." Eva studied him thoughtfully. "It won't be luxury hotels and cocktail parties." "Good," he replied. "I'm tired of those anyway." A small hand slipped into mine, and I looked down to find Lucy watching the exchange. "Is Miss Eva leaving us?" she asked worriedly. "Just for a little while, sweetheart." I knelt beside her. "She's going to help other children, like her dad did. But she'll come back with new stories, new techniques, and an even bigger heart. Promise." Lucy looked at Eva. Eva joined us, paint-stained and glowing with purpose. "I promise. And when I come back, we'll paint the biggest, brightest butterflies this hospital has ever seen." Speaking of butterflies, Jacqueline pulled out an envelope. "I found these in Robert's things, photos from his first art therapy class in Guatemala." As Eva and the children crowded around to see, I stepped back and watched my daughter, my real daughter, shine in the life she was meant to live. Rosalind appeared beside me. "You did it, Lena. You got her back." "No," I corrected her, watching Eva show Lucy how to hold a brush like her father did in the photos. She found herself. Sometimes love means stepping back and trusting the path, even when others try to block it. "Miss Lena," Lucy called out, "come paint with us. Miss Eva says we're all going to make butterflies for Miss Vivian in jail, to help her heart heal too." I laughed, catching Eva's eye. My daughter smiled, not the polished society smile Vivienne had taught her, but her real radiant, paint-smudged smile. "Coming," I grabbed a smock, because sometimes the best revenge isn't about punishment at all. It's about creating something beautiful from the ashes of what others tried to destroy. And as I joined my daughter at the easel, surrounded by children's laughter and butterflies taking flight, I knew Robert was watching, smiling, proud of the masterpiece our daughter had become.